All right, we're testing this out for the first time. Okay, so it's been a long time since I have been doing any forms of like, hang on, let me just play with the lighting here on the Facebook side. Anyways, I am here to try and get this show on the road. It's been a hot minute since that I've been live on my actual wall and stuff. So if you are here, I'd love to see that you are here. Hi, Marilyn. Hi, Shar. And hashtag I'm here. If you're catching a replay, make sure to hashtag replay. Today, I want to be talking to you guys about something that is really something that's been popping up a lot in my feeds lately, and that has been why your workouts may not be working for you and how to fix it without doing more per se. Okay. And that being said, let's get into a little bit of the nitty gritty. Like I said, hey, sweethearts, and my name is Coach Sam. Like I said, it's been a hot minute. So let me guess, you've been showing up, you've been putting in the work, you're doing the workouts, squeezing them into your busy life between work and dinner and maybe running after the kids, squeezing in phone calls, all this stuff. But the scale, not budging. Your jeans, still tight. Your energy, kind of shot. And now you're asking myself, am I doing something wrong? Do I need to be doing more? Here's your permission to take a deep breath. Because no, you don't need to be doing more workouts. You don't need to be pushing harder necessarily. And you definitely you're probably not lazy or broken if you've been showing up. Hey, Lorena. What you might need is a smarter strategy that has a lot more recovery. So let's break this down because if your workouts aren't working per se, the fix probably isn't what you think. Let's start here. You're under recovering, not under training. So if you're on Facebook with me here, I'm testing out a new software. So I'm just going to add this in here. I like this. You're under recovering. You're not under training. Okay. Let's make that clear. Most women and men that I work with are actually overdoing it. They're working out like 4 to 6 days a week, skipping rest days, living on coffee and cortisol, our stress hormone. But here's the kicker. When your body is under chronic stress, whether it's from workouts, demanding jobs, demanding family life, lack of sleep, emotional stress, whatever it is, your cortisol levels stay elevated. Cortisol is our stress hormone. It's the thing that wakes us up. It's the thing that keeps us in fight or flight mode. Okay. And that is a problem whenever they are chronically elevated. A 2002 review actually found by Tsigos and Crusos found that elevated cortisol not only increases abdominal fat storage, but also interferes with recovery, hormone balance, and our sleep. Okay. So when you're wondering why, when you're doing everything right, but your results have stalled, you might be stuck in a stress recovery imbalance, not a motivation problem. Okay. Next, you're stuck doing cardio and not building muscle. I see this so much, especially in my female clients who are trying to lose weight fast. The logic is burn more calories equals lose more weight, right? Not necessarily. Cardio burns calories in the moment. However, resistance training, weights, body weight training, even a towel, there's things you can do with towels for workouts. This is what builds lean muscle, and muscle is metabolically active. So that means you burn more calories even at rest. The way I like to put it is that muscles are calorie expensive. So you want to keep them, you got to be training them and eating for them. Willis et al. In 2012 showed that adding resistance training to a program significantly improved lean body mass and fat loss compared to cardio by itself. What does that mean? When we have higher metabolic rates or higher muscles, we typically have a higher metabolic rate. What that allows us to do is eat more food. It also allows us to not do as much cardio, and it allows us to have lower fat levels, okay? So if you want a metabolism that is going to work for you, not one that's going to get slower the more cardio you do because your body's really good at keeping yourself alive. You eat less, you add way more strain, it becomes a taxed stress, starvation, store all the things type mode, okay? If you've been stuck in that cycle of HIIT or boot camps or spin classes and not lifting weights or eating appropriately, this is your call to start strength training, okay? Now, I also want to make a talk about hormones here because if you've been busting your butt and still not seeing changes, you need to know this. Your hormones might be hijacking your results. If you're in perimenopause, you have PCOS, polycystic ovarian syndrome, Hashimoto's, any thyroid imbalances, endometriosis. There's a slew more, but any of the sort, you're likely dealing with a slower metabolism, blood sugar regulation that is poor, increased fat storage, and decreased recovery. And these are not excuses. These are real physiological shifts that change how your body responds to food and movement. So if you're doing the exact same workouts that you did in your 20s and expecting the same results in your 30s, 40s, and 50s, that's likely going to, that's like trying to charge your iPhone with a flip phone charger. It just doesn't work. It's not about working harder, it's about working smarter and tailoring your training to your unique physiology. Now, the next truth I have is that you're probably only tracking your weight. You are probably only tracking your weight. The scale is a tool, but it's not the whole story. If you're only measuring success by that one number, you're ignoring the real wins. Let us zoom out a little bit. I want you to ask yourself, do I have more energy during the day? Is my sleep deeper and more consistent? Are my clothes fitting better, even if the scale hasn't changed? Am I lifting heavier? Am I recovering faster? Is my mood better? Do I have more patience? Do I have a bigger mental bandwidth? These are all non scale victories, AKA NSVs, that are so much more than the number blinking back at you in the morning. Fat loss is not equal to weight loss. Muscle is denser than fat. A pound is still a pound, but 5 pounds of fat is about this versus 5 pounds, or sorry, 5 pounds of muscle is about this versus 5 pounds of fat is about this, almost like a 2 liter bottle. Okay. Healing your metabolisms, hormones and energy, that is the long-term success that allows you to see long-term results. Lastly, but not least, you're focused on external effort and not internal resistance. Sometimes the workouts aren't the problem. Sometimes it's your mindset or the burnout or the guilt that's associated when you take a rest day or that shame spiral whenever we eat something off plan. Here's a truth bomb for you. You can't hate yourself into a healthier body. You cannot grind your way through chronic stress, and you cannot expect your body to thrive in that environment. What you can do is slow down. What you can do is reset your strategy and focus on what actually supports your body and not just what punishes it. You know, I want to tell you about a couple clients that I'm going to remain anonymous, obviously. You know, this one client, she came to me after 2 years of back-to-back workouts. She was tracking her calories religiously, doing spin 5 times a week. And you know what? She was exhausted. And you know what? She was bloated. She was frustrated and she saw no scale movement. And she was convinced that she had to do more. We changed everything. We actually cut her workouts from 5 days to 3. We added strength training and actual rest days. Sorry, we cut her workouts from 5 to 3. Mind. Ugh. Anyways, this is a client of mine that has some thyroid issues, and we supported her with better nutrition, scaled her stress down very gently, and 3 months later, she'd lost 6 inches in her waist. She was sleeping better. Her mood was stable again, and the scale, it finally moved too. But honestly, that was the smallest win. I have another client who has many children. I'm talking 8. She has 8 kids and various C-sections, various, very complex pregnancies. And she's also self employed. And when she came to me, she was sleeping chronically, like long, long hours, like 12 hours a day or more. She had no patience for her partner and her kids. And she actually just didn't know how to even get the ball moving. So, what we did was we started with 3 days a week, focusing on healing that internal pelvic floor. And within the first week, she dropped an incredible amount of inches and off the scale because we got inflammation under control. I have clients that face chronic IBS, chronic bloating issues. They think that they have to cut gluten, they think that they have to cut dairy, they think they have to cut everything. But when it really comes down to it, what I like to call it is their body is just an angry soup. And when it's that angry soup, we have to slow things down and prioritize smarter, not harder. So remember, it's not about doing more. It's about doing what your body actually needs. And if this hit home today and you feel like you're starting to finally feel like your workouts, or if you're ready to see if you're to have your workouts work for you, to have your program work for you, I want you to DM me the word strategy and I will send you details for a mini consult so that we can help make this thing fit into your season of life. Remember, it's not about making your life about fitness. It's about making fitness and wellness fit into your life. You don't need to punish yourself to get results. You need a plan that works with your body and your lifestyle, not against it. So, guys, if you got any value from this, make sure to give me some likes, some hearts, or drop your number one takeaway. I look so forward to hearing from you, and I will catch you soon.